The 12th seed, we have Chocolatier.
22nd seeded Limers.
Jungle Jumpers.
I'll take Blackjacks in a landslide here.
28 seed Minty Maniacs.
15th seed is Bumblebees.
21 seeded Wisps.
Oh.
30 seed Purple Rockets.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're rolling at you live with an extremely special episode and something that I've maybe been more excited for than anything else we've done.
Yeah, pretty excited. We're going to use a little racing, a little bracketology here, and have some fun. Have some fun in the offseason here.
Absolutely. I know we promised it a couple episodes ago, but we told you guys that we would be bringing you marble races with the toy after every episode in the form of a bracket. And now that Marble League is concluded, here's how it's going to work. So now that Marble League is over, we have the 1 through 16 from the Marble League, and we have the 32 through 17 from the qualifiers.
Yep. I'm with you.
And so what we're going to do is we're going to seed the teams that way. So number 1 will obviously be Momo. Number 32 will be Shining Swarm, who came in last in qualifiers. And we have our special guest with us right here. If you want to introduce yourselves, obviously Santa is here again, but now she is Caroline. Now she's Caroline. So we have Caroline here. Moose.
Hi, guys.
Moose is being a little bit of an issue, but we also have...
I'm Milge.
We got Milge. Milge is he's warming up to the camera. But here we go. So how this is going to work is we want you guys to be fully involved with this. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's totally interactive. Do we say we want everyone to make their own bracket? Have we gone there yet?
All right, so just to explain it a little better than we did in the video, basically this is going to be like a bracket pool. If you've ever played March Madness before, you fill out a bracket, and the better you do, the higher you go up on the leaderboard. How this is going to work is you're going to basically the same exact thing except with marbles. Every podcast we release, we're going to run marbles down the JMR toy, and they're going to race against each other. Whoever wins advances to the next round in a best 2 out of 3 format. First step is just subscribe to this channel. That's number 1. Easy step. Number 2, you got to click the link in the description. That's going to bring you to the website that's going to host our bracket pool. I'll put it right here on the screen, but it's also going to be in the description where you can click on it. And basically, you're going to sign up. You're going to name your bracket, and you're going to fill it out. But this is just going to be a really fun way to kind of keep track of our end of the video races that we're doing during each episode of our show. And it's awesome. The website we're using organizes a leaderboard for us. They make the bracket super easy to just click through and make your picks. So yeah, I think that wraps it up. Can't wait to do this, and I'll roll the rest of the video now where we unveil the seeds of the bracket, the matchups.
Yeah, we're big March Madness fans. I
Yes.
think that's the biggest thing here. I think getting fan interaction, maybe we can get 50, 100 people to participate in this bracket, and then we can release it every week on the pod.
Right, so that's the inspiration behind it. And what's going to happen is that you guys are going to submit your brackets. We'll track the progress as we go on throughout our podcast and throughout this individual season.
This is something I think it'll be fun. It'll be fun to just throw some money into it, and see if you win.
Yeah.
And if you have confidence in your marbles,
and
your marble knowledge, it shouldn't be a problem.
It's a really fun thing to do, and it'll basically last half the year or so. Basically, every podcast that we submit, there'll be a race at the end of the episode, so you'll be able to track every episode you watch where your marbles go.
Absolutely. But that being said, let's get into it.
Let's get into it. So we're going to now release the seeding. Our special guests, Caroline and Mike, are going to give us the teams and how they're seated. So let's start it off right now. Throw it down to them.
You want me to start off with number 1, even though you briefly mentioned?
Yes.
All right. Number 1, we have Team Momo.
Versus the 32 seed Shining Swarm.
I mean, a matchup that's heavily favored in one way.
Yeah, we'll keep it short here. I think Momo takes this and takes it easily.
I think so too. If that's the kind of advice that we're going to give, whatever it is, but I like that.
I don't think brackets are being busted on that. that matchup.
Let's go down to the 2 seed versus the 31.
We have Snowballs, who are versing
the 31 seeded Team Primary.
Team Primary podcast. I hope an upset gets pulled here.
I'm gonna vote for an upset. I'm gonna predict we're a Team Primary podcast. I think the Snowballs are just too sad. We went down to the podium, the press conference. We saw the Snowballs. They were clearly upset.
I was just really sad.
Yeah.
I don't think they're dialed in for this one. I'm taking Team Primary.
I like it. Let's head down to the next matchup, 3 versus 30.
Blackjacks
Versus the 30 seed Purple Rockets.
I'll take Blackjacks in a landslide here.
I think they have the hot hand.
Yeah.
They got the hot hand. I think they got aces in the hole. We're taking Blackjacks to beat the Purple Rockets badly.
We have to. Let's throw it down to the next matchup here.
Number 4, we have Green Ducks, who are versing
The 29 seed O Rangers.
Oh,
I know we're early in this thing, but I'm willing to say that this might be the biggest matchup that we have going.
this is the best first round matchup we have here.
This is premier.
You're biased.
Yes.
Obviously, you're going to pick your
No,
team.
but this is premier. I don't even know if I want to pick anybody because the Green Ducks have a serious shot here. But this is just an all-time matchup against two teams that are high rated in all-time Marble League titles.
So who's your pick?
I'm not making a pick. I'll pick the Go Rangers.
We move on.
We move on. Next team.
Next team, we have Jungle Jumpers.
Versus the 28 seed Minty Maniacs.
The Minties.
This is a matchup that doesn't intrigue me.
You got to give some love to the Minties. This podcast is brought to you by Mint Mobile. Obviously, Yelly's Marble Cast, Yelly's Marble Runs and Cast brought to you by Mint Mobile. I'm going to go with the Minties here. I think just participating in the Marble League, even though they didn't qualify, they showed.
Fair enough.
I think the Minties got some mo here.
They got some unfair reps in, if you will.
I would agree. I'm going Minties.
All right, let's go to the next matchup.
Next up, we have Crazy Cat Eyes.
Versus the 27 seed Pinkies.
Pinkies, Cat's Eyes. It's a shame that this draw happened because I'd like to pick the Pinkies against a lot of other teams, but the Cat's Eyes are a little bit too overpowered. They win a little too much. I'm going to take them, and they're one of my favorites to win this whole thing.
I'm going to disagree here. I'm going to go Pinkies up, and I'm going to go against the Cat's Eyes. Screw those Cat's Eyes.
Wow.
It's the time for the Pinkies.
I hope you're right, but let's throw it down for the next matchup.
Number 7, Solar Flares.
Versus the 26 seeded Rollers.
So the Rojo Rollers versus who was the other team?
Solar Flares.
Interesting matchup here against two young up-and-coming Solar Flares versus a mid-old school Rojo Rollers.
Yeah, what's your take here? The Rojo Rollers, obviously storied franchise there.
I think the Flares are hot.
The Flares are hot. They're praising the sun.
They
The
are.
sun stays hot, and no matter what, I'm going Flares.
I think I'm going to have to go Flares too. Let's throw it back down to the next matchup.
Next matchup, we have Raspberry Racers.
Versus the 25 seed Thunderbolts.
This is an interesting one. There's another old school versus new school-ish matchup. Thunderbolts have been around for a while, but they're an electric team, no pun intended, versus one of the most consistent teams in the Raspberry Racers.
It's an electric matchup. I think the Raspberry Racers stay hot through the Marble League, as they had a great finish there.
Yeah.
I don't think the Thunderbolts are going to shock anyone. I think it's Raspberry Racers quickly.
Yeah, I'll take Thunderbolts in that one, but so that's one we disagree. And let's go to the next matchup here.
Next up, we have Wolfpack.
Versus Mellow Yellow.
Interesting. This is, we're getting into a lot of old versus young here. I guess
A little 9-8 matchups.
Yeah.
10-7 matchups.
Yeah.
This is a good one. I don't think anyone let the dogs out here. I think Mellow Yellow takes it, and I think they take it convincingly.
I think so. I think this is the first time they didn't qualify for the Marble League, which is going to motivate them to have some serious energy going into this bracket.
Yeah.
Let's go down to the next turn. Team.
We have Balls of Chaos.
Versus the 23 seed Turtle Sliders.
That's another one. It's another great matchup.
That's a really good matchup of teams that have really done nothing in their history. This is kind of a toss up here. It's going to be a tough one for bettors who are picking this game. I don't know. Who do you got? I like Balls of Chaos. I think.
I agree with you here. I think it's going to be a little too chaotic for those turtles to slide. And
Yeah.
I think the Balls of Chaos are coming off a great Marble League.
Well done.
I take the Chaos.
11, Hazers.
Versus the 22nd seeded Limers.
You want me to start this one off?
I'm a little biased here, so you can take this one.
I think Hazers were disappointing in this Marble League. Hazers are a little disappointing to me a little bit overall. They sit in near the top 10 of all-time Marble League results, but I like the Limers here to pull this one off.
Love that. I don't have much to say. You can look at my shirt. We lime on. Go Limers.
The 12th seed, we have Chocolatiers.
Versus the 21 seeded Wisps.
This is a matchup. It's an interesting matchup. This is like two of the most disappointing teams that we've seen in recent years. Obviously, the Wisps have that one Marble League title, which is crazy, but Chocolatiers have not done much, and I don't know. I don't even know what to say about this one. I think I'm going to take the Wisps.
Yeah, this matchup reminds me of kind of like in soccer, the relegation matchup.
Yes.
It's just like who's better than the worst team
They're
ever.
fighting for
who's not
second to last.
Yeah, who's not bad.
Yes.
I'm going to take the Wisps here. Just because I like saying Wisps.
I like it.
So
Let's go down to the next matchup.
I like that reasoning.
Thank you.
13th seed is Savage Speeders.
Versus the 20 seeded Oceanics.
I don't know if there's much to say in this matchup.
There's not much to say at all. Everyone knows my hate for the Oceanics. The Speeders are grossly underrated in this one. The Speeders are a team with their 13th ranking. They could make it to the Final Four here. I would not be surprised.
Yeah, we haven't really touched on any super Cinderellas that can make a deep run. I think this is our first time, but call me crazy. I'm going to take the Oceanics coming off an MS 100 victory to show what they're made of and do it here.
Well, you don't have cat's eyes. You're just freaking crazy. So we move on. Speeders.
We move on. Next matchup.
14th seed is Team Galactic
versus the 19-seeded Indigo Stars.
So this is an interesting one for me because Team Galactic goes into this. Will they have a coach is the question I ask. Black Hole obviously fired last week. We don't really know the status of the team. They obviously had a gold medal in Marble League. Will they have a leadership, group there, or is it a coach? What's going to happen there with Team Galactic?
I think they've shown us enough in this Marble League to give us a little bit of confidence in the end after Black Hole was canned when we saw them grab a gold medal. But to be honest, I'm going to go with the Indigo Stars here. Rested team, did well in the MS 100, a team that I personally kind of root for. So I'm going to go with Indigo Stars here.
I like it.
Coming in 15th seed is Bumblebees
versus the 18th-seeded Team Plasma.
So we're really getting into here like these tight matchups that are going to be hard to predict. The Bumblebees, I think, are like the Savage Speeders, a lower-seeded team than they should be probably.
Agreed.
But stumbled right out of the Marble League in not good showing.
Yeah, I would agree. I lean Bumblebees here. I don't think the Plasma has enough raid to tame that hive.
Yeah.
But the Bumblebees are a team, and like the Speeders, I think they can make a run here. They're a little lower seed than we thought they were, so I think they make a run.
I agree, but definitely have to watch out for Plasma in this first round.
I'm not confident, to be honest with you.
Okay, well the poster's right there, so
I was a Plasma fan at one time.
Let's throw it down to our
last matchup.
Yeah, two more.
No, last one.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Last but not least, we have Gliding Glaciers, who are 16.
Taking on the 17-seeded Cobalts.
This is maybe not a watch here.
Yeah, really? You think so?
Gliding Glaciers and Cobalts are two teams, with just pathetic history, really.
I'm watching this matchup for one reason, and that's Cerulean on the Cobalts, the captain of the Cobalts.
True.
I think he's just a great racer. He put on a show in Marbula 1.
Yeah.
I really think he takes this. I think he dominates, and I'll take the Cobalts here easily.
Okay, I'm willing to side with you there because of Cerulean's upward potential, but Gliding Glaciers showed me absolutely nothing, and I don't think they should really. They should be. I think they might be a team in rebuild for the next few years.
Pathetic.
So thank you so much to our presenters here. Absolutely lovely to have you.
Thank you for having us.
Is there a team in this bracket that maybe you both will go to Caroline first?
That's a good question.
That you like to maybe come out of this whole thing?
I've always been Team Pinkies. Pinkies up. However, I'm not going to lie. Snowballs, I think they can have a comeback.
They're stealing your heart a little bit.
They are.
All right. I like that too. Mills, what do you got?
I'm going to go with the 7-seeded Solar Flares.
Oh,
because like the greatest 7 of all time, Cristiano, I think Solar Flares flare up and they get it done on the big stage.
Oh, honestly, a nod to soccer fans everywhere watching this.
Yeah.
I like that reasoning for Milch.
I do too.
And I like the Flares.
The Flares, like a spunky team that we've seen do some crazy things in this last Marble League. I think I like that pick a lot. If
you have an MVM, most valuable marble,
exactly,
coming off a Marble League on your squad, I think you had a great chance. And that's what Radiance brings.
Like Ronaldo, like you just said, most valuable marble.
And that's Radiance on the Solar Flares.
Is there anyone that you are looking out for in this?
Well, you know what? I look, and I just said it here. I look at the Cobalts. I look at Cerulean. I think they just got snubbed. They're right outside qualifier.
Yeah.
I think the Cobalts make some noise here in this bracket.
And a team that you think could make a deep run, who may be lower seeded.
That's a good question. I'm going to go with my Speeders. I'm going to go with the Savage Speeders. Yeah. I think they're grossly underrated where they're ranked. Such a storied franchise. I'm going to go Savage Speeders. Make a run here.
Yeah. So I think let me go with my underdog first. I think the Rojo Rollers against these Solar Flares. Sorry to pick against you here, Milch, but I really think the Rojo have been quiet for so long. It's time for a little bit of a breakout.
Absolutely.
So I'm hoping that we see that out of them. But as far as who I think is going to take the whole thing, I'm going to go with these Green Ducks, a team that we've been watching just come up short over and over again. I think maybe it's their time.
I like it. Mallard, Billy, and the boys, I think they're ready to go.
So listen, everyone submit. Well, all the details will be in the description. Make sure you check it out. Submit your brackets, and we will we'll have this thing for you guys the rest of the 2025. So make sure you tune in. And anything else from you?
No, again, we'll say our prizes in the bio, maybe. Yeah. First, second, and third.
Description.
In the description. I'm sorry. First, second, and third, and we're excited. I think this will be a fun little wrinkle for the off season, and we're curious who's going to win.
Absolutely. So we'll be looking out just like you guys are, and we'll have our own brackets in the mix as well, so you can compare to us too.
100%.
All right. Thanks so much for tuning in, and all the details will be in the description once again.
Go Limers.
Peace.
Peace.